All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's video, we are going to be talking about the Tomb Raider developer known as Crystal Dynamics. Now, it's been a long time since we talked about Crystal Dynamics because, to be fair, they really haven't done anything very important other than completely destroying everything that has to do with Lara Croft. But Tomb Raider developer Crystal Dynamics is apparently holding more layoffs. And this is not the first time that they've had layoffs. They are suffering massive layoffs multiple times, and they posted on their LinkedIn recently that we're going to go over. We're going to go over their entire post on LinkedIn talking about this, and I also have some other posts just to kind of remind you what Crystal Dynamics is actually about. So let's go over this layoff and see what's happening here. Crystal Dynamics, the studio behind the recent Tomb Raider games and a co-developer of the canceled Perfect Dark reboot, by the way, has announced that it was holding layoffs. You know what's funny? People have completely forgotten that they were, in fact, a co-developer on the Perfect Dark reboot. Yes, we're talking about the Manjaw Perfect Dark reboot. Remember that? Well, that game got canceled, and apparently the co-developer, I guess, relationship you can say they had with the other developer completely fell through, and nobody knows why. Right? We got to imagine they probably hated each other, most likely. So apparently they have announced that they're holding layoffs again. In a post on social media on Wednesday, the studio said that it made the very difficult decision to part ways with a number of our talented colleagues as the result of evolving business conditions. Crystal Dynamics says that the decision was not made lightly, but was one that it says was needed to ensure the long-term health of our studio and core creative priorities in a continually shifting market. Now, I don't understand why they continue to say things like this wasn't made lightly. Was there ever a single layoff moment or decision that was ever made lightly? No. But they do this because they know that they are basically surrounded by a bunch of employees that have the emotional control of a 5-year-old, right? They're basically the Roger Jacksons of the gaming industry, where they have absolutely no control over their emotions. So they have to be constantly virtue signaled to and pander to. They have to be talked to like they're fucking toddlers and protect their emotions instead of being like, hey, we got to let you go because unfortunately business has been terrible. We've been not making, we haven't been making money. We pretty much got felted by the community and gamers. We got to let you go. Instead, they're like, listen, we really care about you. We promise it's nothing personal. Please believe us. We're going to give you a nice severance. This wasn't made lightly. Everybody's an equal talent, but somehow we chose you over someone else to be fired. But, that's just neither here nor there. It's so ridiculous. But anyway, to those impacted, we recognize and thank you for your hard work, talent, and passion, they said. Apparently you weren't talented enough. Apparently you didn't work hard enough. Apparently you weren't passionate enough, but they're not going to tell you this. They're going to pretend like you're equal with everybody else, but yet somehow you were the one chosen for the firing. We are committed to offering the full extent of support and resources at our disposal during this transition. What are you going to transition to? Everybody's getting fired in the gaming industry. You think all these slots are going to be filled by people who got fired? No, they're firing you to replace you with AI. That is why they're firing you. I don't understand why you're pretending like they're going to transition elsewhere. Probably 10% or less of employees are going to find another job in the gaming industry. Everybody else is going to try to pretend to be a content creator on YouTube and then eventually go work at McDonald's or something. They're not gonna work in the gaming industry. But as far as the future of Tomb Raider, Crystal Dynamics says that its development is unaffected by the moves. I don't want to see Crystal Dynamics' next Tomb Raider game. I don't. You know why I don't? You guys remember the remaster that everybody praised? Well, do you guys remember how Crystal Dynamics had a trigger warning in the beginning of it? You guys remember this? The games in this collection contain offensive depictions of people and cultures rooted in racial and ethnic prejudices. These stereotypes are deeply harmful, inexcusable, and do not align with our values at Crystal Dynamics. However, rather than removing this content, we have chosen to present it here in its original form, unaltered, in the hopes that we may acknowledge its harmful impact and learn from it. Okay, so you guys want the translation to this? Now, lucky for you guys watching this video, I happen to speak woke corporate. Okay, that's a very rare language to understand. Let me translate this to you, okay? The games in this collection contain non-offensive depictions of people and cultures rooted in racial and ethnic stereotypes that may be pretty accurate. However, we view it as deeply harmful because we don't want to get canceled. So we need to call it inexcusable and say that it doesn't align with our values at Crystal Dynamics. But you know what does align with our values? Money, which is why we are selling the fucking original games uncensored because we want your money and we know that the only way to get your money is to not censor the games. So we are going to pretend as if we're going to learn from these deeply harmful, inexcusable stereotypes. But what we really want to do is take your fucking money. That's what we want to do. We want to take your money and pretend like we care. They don't. They don't care. So anyway, now let's go over to their LinkedIn post. Well, actually, let's finish the article first. Oh, it's already done. So let's go over to the LinkedIn post. Now, if you look at this here, to our teams, players, and partners, thank you for your continued support as we build a creative, sustainable, and resilient tomorrow together. This includes the future of Tomb Raider, which remains unaffected by this decision. Sure. A continually shifting market. Now, you guys are probably wondering, gee, I mean, what are the comments looking like, right? This post by Crystal Dynamics, by the way, they have 43,849 followers on LinkedIn. How many likes do they have? 283. How many comments do they have? 15. 44,000 followers. You got 15 comments on a post about layoffs? Gee, I am not surprised to find out that the majority of the people in the industry don't even give a fuck to even say we're sorry about the layoffs. They don't even care. They don't even care. The people in your industry don't even care to talk about it. So why would you think anybody else cares? So let's see what these 15 comments have to say. Mark Vernon, senior game designer, says, very sad to hear this news. Absurd Ventures is hiring. Warren Price says it never ends. You know when it ends? Warren Price, do you know when it ends? Lead game designer, design manager, and design consultant. I'm going to tell you when it ends. It ends when you stop doing this. That's when it ends. It ends when you stop doing this absolute bullshit, pretending as if anybody believes you when you virtue signal. And then not only are you censoring what Lara Croft was by making her into a, I don't know, artifact discoverer, whatever. What I forgot what cringe thing that they said Lara Croft represents. She's not a Tomb Raider anymore. They said Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider, is not a Tomb Raider anymore. She's like an artifact preserver or something like that. I don't even know what the fuck they said. All I know is that these people, if you want this to stop happening, if you want layoffs to stop happening, perhaps you should stop doing stupid stuff like this. Savag says, ouch, it only felt like yesterday when the last message of layoffs were announced. I wish those affected a swift recovery to continue what they love doing. Horus with the sad emojis. Petru says, best of luck to everyone affected with the heart emoji. These people don't care. They don't care. Let's be real. They don't care. These people are virtue signaling on Twitter. I'm sorry, not Twitter, LinkedIn. And they're pretending as if they're so sad about the layoffs. But all they're doing is saying, I'm glad it wasn't me. That's it. They're saying, I'm glad it wasn't me. And everybody else, good luck. Good luck. I wasn't fired for activism going on in the gaming industry, but you were. Good luck to you. Mark says, it's a sad day. We're currently hiring for a bunch of positions. Also, to all my old friends and coworkers, I'm happy to write LinkedIn recommendations if any of you want them or anything else I can do. Why would you write LinkedIn recommendations, bro? There's 44,000 followers on this account. There's only 15 comments. What are we doing? Sean says, so sorry to hear this. Magali says, so sad to hear. Sending all my thoughts and support to all the people affected. Here's a list of open job opportunities at EA. Funny that you mentioned that, Magali. Funny that you mentioned that. Magali says that there are open opportunities over at EA. It's very funny that you mentioned that because Smash JT has a post right now over on X saying layoffs announcement coming soon out of EA, question mark. We got someone here, Luke Van Grudel, people, culture, and talent leader, aka DEI position over at EA. And apparently he just said recently, a day ago, after 3 incredible years at EA, my time there has come to a close due to a recent workforce reduction. Working at EA was an honor. I had the privilege of helping build the leadership recruitment function, partnering with world-class teams, and contributing to a company that has inspired me since I was young. It's hard to say goodbye to such a special place, but I'll always carry the lessons, friendships, and experiences with them. Geez, so hold on. So you got somebody posting on LinkedIn, hey, EA is hiring. And then over on another LinkedIn post, you got EA DEI people saying that they were fired because of a recent workforce reduction. This is not just going to be one person. there's going to be a lot of people that were fired. It makes you wonder. It just makes you wonder. So you guys let me know in the comments down below with this video. What do you think about the layoffs affecting Crystal Dynamics? Are you looking forward to the next Tomb Raider game? Are they even going to call it Tomb Raider? Or are they going to call it like Lara Croft, the artifact preserver? Whatever it may be, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, consider hitting that like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one.